This is Doc Deason's weather.
'You're watching Doc Deason's weather.
2 decades of severe weather experience here for you when it counts. This is Doc Deason's weather, live now.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. It is 3:34. We've got tornado warning now in place for folks in Gregg County. This, I think, could potentially be laid somewhat at the feet of the storm that passed north of Lindale earlier on and had quite a bit of chatter talking about what looked like a tornado up near the Horde Road area, north side of Lindale, about an hour or so back, give or take. I was on the road at the time and started to see some talk about that and passed that along to the Weather Service, and they have now put a warning out for an observed tornado. Believe it or not, that's the word that we're seeing here now. So let's get the radar spun up for you in the proper context. Here's the polygon real quick. Again, this is going to be south of the city of Longview proper. So you guys in the city here, you are up here on the north side of the screen. This will be down closer to Lakeport and east of Kilgore. Down there, probably pretty close to that Highway 322 that runs down into northwestern or northeastern Rusk County. Let's put the velocity in here. I'm going to try to get a few things oriented. Doesn't show up terribly well, in this general neck of the woods, but with the talk from the Weather Service of that having been something observed, we want to give that plenty of clearance, particularly since we had something that was got quite a few people's attention earlier on. Like we said, up near the Horde area, Horde Road area, which is north of Lindale. If you go up 69, just north of downtown, I think it's 1804, cuts off to the right, and it winds around, and you've got a pretty good open space out there where you can see pretty good back up towards Mineola and whatnot. So that could be potentially that same storm which prompted the warning to come out, and the also what looks to be someone talking about having spotted something there, and that obviously gets a lot of attention. So yeah, Weather Service saying tornado warning till 4 o'clock for south central Gregg and north central Rusk County. We'll look at the statement here real quick. They issued that here about 3 minutes or so ago, and or they did an update on the issuance here about 3 minutes ago. Tornado producing storm was located near Kilgore, moving east at 30. So again, this is going to be east of Kilgore now. This will be out here in this area, which more or less kind of hugs on the border. There between Rusk County and Gregg County. You could see some storms in here, just more or less kind of some rotation in there. You can make out a couple of areas where you can tell the storms are trying to rotate, but there's nothing really crazy dynamic in the velocity product where you would see or you would expect to see with large tornado type production. But regardless, if there's something that was seen and with the history from what appears to have occurred earlier on, you want to give that a good bit more in the way of credibility. Not a lot of lightning in here either, which can catch some people off guard. Uh, but still, you don't have to have lightning to have a tornado. We saw that in Lindale, believe it or not, several years ago. We had a storm that produced it was an EF2, and never a single strike of lightning anywhere near that storm. I was able to get out there and look at the survey after the fact, and it was impressive. It was very small in scope, but it was still enough to do some damage and did some good damage to some houses there on the east side of Lindale, ironically. So anyway, 3:38 tornado warning for Gregg County. That'll be south of Longview and the northern side of Rusk County until 4 o'clock. We haven't had too much in the way of significant severe weather to talk about, at least as far as tornadoes are concerned, in a while. Plenty of weather to watch, but other than that, nothing that would warrant hopping on and doing much of the long form coverage. Weather Service saying that there's a tornado watch that's going to be coming out pretty soon for a lot of our East Texas counties south of I-20. So that kind of plays the concern there, in the understanding that this is going to be something that we're going to be keeping an eye on here for several more hours. As once this front comes through, that's the end of the severe weather. That will be the end of the severe weather threat. The front's cleared here now. Let's look at the radar. We'll put the loop into place. You can see how these storms, like, they've all got little tails on them. So there's some good rotation ability there in these things as they kind of blossom, and they're somewhat still, they're not exactly in a huge cluster yet. They're getting there pretty fast, but having gone from being kind of more single cell to these things really starting to kind of line up and congeal, that'll probably take this into more of a wind threat than the tornado threat eventually. But regardless, severe weather threat for Tyler is over with, as is Jacksonville, and you guys north and west where the front has already passed through, you're done. But it's the folks out ahead of it that we're going to need to keep the eye on. Okay. Yeah, so temps down to 73 here at the office. Dew points coming down as well. Yeah, do I see you there? Wind picking up in South Tyler. Yeah. You bet, Jim. So thank y'all for coming on. If you are in the Longview area or in that especially that southeastern part of Gregg County, I'd love to know what you guys are seeing now. Because like I said, any of these things here, let's see here, you can just kind of feel how these things have got a little bit of component to them, a bit of rotation to them. That's not as pronounced there, but this thing here, all of them kind of have a little bit of a kind of a kidney bean consistency to them. Yeah, we're going to blow on a lot of stuff around here, Elena. There'll be a lot of stuff blowing around over the next couple of days. The wind, well, you'll know when this front pulls through because the wind's going to swing out of the northwest and it'll blow pretty good, 15 to 25. We'll see some 30-plus mile-an-hour gusts here over the next couple hours. We'll see 40-plus mile-an-hour gusts probably tomorrow. So as I've been posting on that for the past couple of days, I don't want you to get lost in that tomorrow. If you've got any high-profile Halloween things in your yard or on your property, something that could go airborne real fast, just be aware that's going to be a definite possibility tomorrow. But we'll talk more about that here as we get a little bit deeper in. I'm going to load up the radar Omega here real fast, and we'll let that spin itself up here. So we'll come back to it just in a second. Let's go back on radar scope. It's 3:42 now, so a tornado warning continues for south central Gregg County and northern sections of Rusk County. This will be well north of Henderson, okay? So I do want to let you know that. Yeah, you guys should be okay in Hallsville there. Glenn, I see you there. All right, let's see here. Looks like Weather Service is canceling that warning. Tornado warning canceled for south central Gregg and north central Rusk. Storm which prompted the warning has weakened. Very good. Okay, so just like that, Weather Service pulls the warning, which is good. And you see the polygon disappearing on the screen as well. So that is good. Hey, Brother Harry. So good news there on that. Yeah, my friend Michael seriously is keeping an eye on that storm south of Henderson. He's watching that one, and I like the fact that he is there because that looks like it's got some, if nothing else, some really hefty rain. And we'll keep an eye on all these things here this afternoon, just given the environment that we appear to be in. Again, if you're just now hopping on 3:43 now, we had a tornado warning for southern Gregg County here and northern Rusk County a few minutes ago. There was quite a bit of chatter about what looked to have been a tornado north of Lindale about an hour or so ago. And that could very well have been this same particular cell. Yeah, Lacey. So a lot of folks kind of wondering the same thing. The Weather Service apparently is going to be coming out with a tornado watch here shortly that will cover a good chunk of East Texas, at least our easternmost counties. Again, once the front comes through your area, severe weather will be over with. So if you can imagine, well, let's just do this here. Let's look at, let's get on here we go. All right, so see if we can make a few things out here, okay? So what you're looking at is our surface observations, and it's hard to manipulate some of this stuff with all the other boxes on my screen. So let's take dew point off. Let's take, so we'll look at here. So these are current conditions. Tyler pounds, you've got a northwest wind right here. So we're looking at Tyler pounds. You've got a temperature 75, northwest wind at 20. The red number there indicates the gust. So we got a gust of 30 at Tyler pounds right now. And then you got some other private weather stations out into the eastern part of Smith County. Let's look over into Longview. It'll populate here. At least it should. There we go. So we still got 70s there. I don't know where the wind's at. Let's see. They may be having some problem with the anemometer. You got a north wind though. There's a north wind at Lakeport, north at 5. But the northwest winds is what comes in behind that front. You get out in this area, Panola County, southern Rusk County, Shelby County, Nacogdoches, all this area out ahead of the front. So that's where we'll have the probably the bulk of the watch will be laid out east of Tyler, south of Jacksonville, south of I-30, over into those counties that are in deep East Texas and our border Texas-Louisiana line. Hey, thanks, Todd. Appreciate you, man. You bet, Lacey. I saw that warning come out, and I was sitting here just kind of going about my day, looking at what was going on with a few other things, and then saw that tornado warning pop up. So I was a bit surprised by it. I think like a lot of folks were. But anyway, here's again just another look, another radar source there. But these things are lining up nicely. So you guys in Carthage, Panola County, you have a pretty good batch of storms coming through here in the next 30 minutes or so. So do be ready for that. Not a ton of lightning there. There's that storm south of Henderson, I think, that that we were talking about here a second ago. Probably some small hail there east of 259. Okay. As well as some stuff there east of Joinerville, north side of Henderson. There's 259 there. Northwest and northeast. Yeah. So, at least for now, no warnings in place. Weather Service will cover these with what they call special weather statements, which is what they will put out without any kind of warning. They'll use these special weather statements to cover that. Kilgore College sheltering in place. Gina, I think you guys are okay in Kilgore now. All this is passed. Warning has been canceled for Gregg County in northern Rusk County. So if that helps you guys, then good deal there. Don't want you sheltering if you don't have to. All right. So I'll be keeping tabs on things here throughout the afternoon. If additional tornado warnings come out, obviously we'll come on, if at all possible, and talk about that with you. If you are new to the page, we haven't done this. You guys are fine there in Lindale. We'll watch when that tornado watch comes out. We'll be watching, no pun intended. And let's see here. Did that mute me? Hold on. So yeah, okay. I think we're there now. Yeah, so we'll be keeping tabs on this stuff. That's very okay. We'll see if that allows us to come through now. Hopefully it does. We'll see here. I'll stay here for just a second. Okay. Thanks, Jerry. Yeah, sometimes the system does things that it wants to do without being asked. So sorry about that with the sound. So we'll be keeping tabs on this throughout the afternoon. If anything does happen to pop up that is disconcerting, we'll be back on to talk about it. Don't forget, don't be surprised to see a tornado watch box come out here shortly. And otherwise, we'll be just waiting on the cooler air, or waiting on the cooler air to come in. The cooler air is already into parts of the area, and the wind will blow good tomorrow. It'll blow pretty decently tonight too. So, but the severe weather threat will be something we watch here through the early evening, and then that'll be done as well. Okay. But for now, thank y'all for swinging by as we keep tabs on this stuff for you. And we're heading into that secondary severe weather season. This time of year is it doesn't usually produce like it does during the spring months, but it does definitely seem to want to try to crescendo here heading towards Christmas, and then we'll start to pack it back in for a while longer until the spring season gets here. All right. But for now, you guys enjoy your afternoon. We'll talk more as we need to. Okay?
Thanks for watching this live broadcast from Doc Deason's Weather. When weather's at its worst, we're at our best. Doc Deason's Weather, the calm in the storm.